Hello friends and welcome to the Saitama Stacker channel. My name is Dean. If you're watching my videos for the first time, please know I only make them for entertainment, education, and for community building around the Saitama token, so please do your own research before investing. I've got some interesting things for you today. I'm going to talk about the concept of crypto and a gold rush, and I'll get into that towards the end. But before I do, we'll talk about fundamentals and what's good out there. You know, it's been a long, tough pull for us. You could say, you know, looking at the numbers, there's no way to put a positive spin on this other than to say that hopefully the future is bright because we know that the cure is right in sight. But in the last 24 hours, we're down about 6%, down 37% in the 7-day look, 14 days, 34%, and down 52% in the 30-day numbers. So it's tough. You know, we know cryptocurrencies are volatile, but this is volatility that is just tough to take, especially when we know how many good things are coming. And there's a really good summary of that I'm going to share with you from somebody's Twitter feed. But, you know, we just need Saitamask. It's been 38 days since the January 8th launch, and we've had a couple of here it comes, no. So hopefully they've just about got this thing ironed out. I can't imagine it could take much longer. And I'm hoping that when it does come out, it is so thoroughly tested and bulletproof that it's nowhere to go but up. So let's take a quick look at the fundamentals and we'll get into some of this other content that I think is actually pretty fascinating today. So 332,334 wallets. That's an increase of 250 over yesterday. Our rank among all cryptos would be 116 based on our market cap of 790 million compared to CoinGecko.com's ranking system by market cap. Now, that 116, I'm not trying to put an overly positive spin on it, but being in the top 120 cryptos when there are 12,000 projects out there, 12,600, puts us in the top 1% of all cryptocurrency. It's not a bad place to be, but we know the potential is so much higher. And that's why it's almost depressing just watching the project and knowing that the cure is in sight, but we just don't have it in our hands. So Max and development team, keep working. Let's get this going and get it out. Now, I will say the crypto market over the last 7 days, you can see here, a lot of red on the screen. Some of these projects down pretty hard in 7 days, you know, 14%, 10%, 12%. But Saitama is down more than the top 100 cryptocurrencies by a sizable amount. So it's time to get things moving in a positive direction. Now, it's not all horrible news. Looking at DEX tools, you can see that Saitama still sitting in the top 10 pairs, currently number 4, but it's been bouncing around between 4 and 2 while I've been putting together the content here. Now, here's a tweet from somebody. Their Twitter handle is @Upside Vision. It's Upside Positivity. They are using the Saitama logo, 17,000 followers. And I'm sure this is somebody who's very actively involved in the community, though I've never come across them up to this point. It just goes to show you how large the community is and that Twitter is not my number one hangout for a number of reasons. But here's a little thread just talking about the future, forward looking with Saitama. So they talk about, let me explain to everyone interested in Saitama, how we will go past an all-time high. And he says way past the all-time high. Now there's no guarantee that we'll go past our all-time high. But what he does summarize here, or she summarizes, I actually don't know, he or she, but what they summarize is a lot of positives that I think are all relatively accurate here. So 1, we need Saitamask, okay? 2, about a week after Saitamask launches, Saita Realty should pop. And so more attention towards Saitama as a whole and the Saitamask project. Saita Realty will be exclusively offered on Saitamask, at least I believe so at this point, meaning people will need to use Saitama to purchase it. It should create some volume there, which will be a good thing. And then the combination of these two will help people to gain more confidence, people start FOMOing in. Okay. And the entry point certainly is, I mean, there's two ways to say it. Like, ouch, the price is low, and wow, this is a good buying opportunity compared to historical prices. Okay. You can look at it the way you want to look at it. Then we know that this fighter, UFC fighter Islam, who's a top 4 fighter in the UFC, which is a pretty big deal. He'll be fighting February 26th. And somewhere in there, I'm sure we'll see Saitama worked in, though. It sounds like they do have some rules about how people can display sponsors within the UFC. So, but certainly he's got a lot of Twitter followers, and there'll be lots of opportunities. Then he says institutional investors will be considering Saitama because we have Saitamask working. And, that is one thing that Russ mentioned in the AMA yesterday with Sandstorm, is that to get on some of these larger exchanges, they want to see a functioning project. And so Saitamask will certainly go a long way. Now, this next one is something that I am actually very excited about, which is mid-March, the Dubai Crypto Expo is going to be happening. And Saitama has a premium spot at the expo, probably the best location of any of the vendors that are going to be there. So I'm hoping this again brings major exposure. Dubai is certainly a place with lots of money in motion. And again, hopefully this will push us towards more top tier exchanges. And the last thing that comes up in this step 8, Fang, which is the NFT platform, the Wolfcaster games, these additional tokens that will be paired with Saitama on Saitamask will start creating more volume, which will cause a higher burn and higher reflection. All of those things I think are true. There's a lot of positive things coming. The first step, Saitamask. So hopefully we're getting very close on that. They actually mentioned some dates in here, and I'm not really going to go down that road because I just don't know. And I haven't heard anybody from the development team say, okay, we're relaunching on this date. So when we get it, we'll get it. All right. Here's a lot of positives. I'm going to talk real briefly about some negatives. Now, if you're on Twitter, if you're looking for content on YouTube, there's a lot of warring going on between crypto communities. And generally, my thought on that is it's highly unproductive. It's very low chances that you slamming somebody else's project are going to make the people in that project realize that they need to come to their senses, drop that project, and join ours. All it does generally is cause them to sling mud back the other direction. And from the outside looking in, for those not in the 4% that are currently investing in cryptocurrency, the 96%, if they're looking at this, it doesn't look like a very enticing place to come and invest your money. They want to see positivity. They want to see positive gains. They want to see people excited about their project. So if you're out there in the war, let it go. Turn your positive energies towards the projects that you're supporting. And let's see if we can't go a little bit further with that approach. There was a good discussion about this in an AMA today with Jeremy, Crypto Realist, and Sandstorm. So back-to-back days, they brought some nice content here. They were with Justin, Just Moonshot, who's one of the developers for TARP. And whenever Justin's talking, man, it's amazing to listen to him. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's very calm. He's got, the facts on his side. And he talks in the last 10 minutes of this AMA about some of these behaviors in the crypto space right now and how it's just not productive. I thought it was a good discussion. So it's Sandstorm channel, TARP, Just Moonshot interview. And the last 10 minutes is where they really get into it. So good stuff. All right. The last thing that I want to talk about is I've been thinking about cryptocurrency and how really we're in this space right now of it being very similar to gold rushes. And when I looked at this particular article, and this is like the Encyclopedia Britannica, but they talk about gold rush, and the countries that are involved are a lot of the countries where you guys live that are watching this channel right now. So United States, Australia, Canada, South Africa. we've all seen this before, where somebody makes a discovery, the word gets out, and people just flock to the area. Well, the DeFi space right now, that's really what this last year has been. There's literally like close to 10,000 new DeFi projects since I started making content in late August, early September. It's a gold rush. Everybody's coming in. They see the opportunity to, make money. Us as investors, why are we here? It's because we think we can make more money here than we can make in our regular investments with stocks and bonds, putting your money in the bank. So yes, I think we're kind of in this gold rush. And all gold rushes tend to end the same way, which is a big boom followed by a bust. But when the bust happens, the gold isn't over. There's still people mining gold profitably right now. It's just that those people who are making the money or the projects that are still going are better funded. They have a stronger community. They have more knowledge about the geography and how the gold fields work. They've got the claims that are profitable claims. And so how do we look at this in terms of cryptocurrency? I think we're getting savvier and savvier as investors. When we see new projects, we want more information. We want projects that are bringing true value, that are not Me Too projects. It's a coin launch with a promising play to earn game that doesn't exist yet. We want to see real results before we're willing to put our money on the line. So I think it's going to be harder and harder for new projects to come to market. And the ones that are currently in the market space are going to have to show something. It's time to put up or shut up or get out. These 12,000 projects, they're not all going to succeed. I'm telling you, it's just not going to happen. Okay. If they're not bringing real utility and real value, even the developers that are working those projects are not going to want to continue to work them because there isn't enough incentive in it for them. So, I think there's a lesson to be learned there. It's an idea that I want to keep developing. I'd be fascinated to know your thoughts, but similar to gold rushes, a lot of these amazing settlements, they become ghost towns. And I think that's what the future holds for a lot of crypto projects. Now, I'm not talking anything specific. I am saying if we want to relate it back to our previous discussion about the wars going on in the space, if you want your project to succeed long term, make sure, for one, you're betting on the right horses. Okay, horses, developers that have a unique approach, something that will drive them to stay in the space for the long term, and help build your community, because the strong communities are the ones that are going to support these amazing projects into a long-term future. And ultimately, that's where we as crypto investors stand to make the most returns. It's not a pump and dump. It's not in the short-term game. If you've got a project you're invested in right now that's still going 5 years from now, I guarantee you your investment is going to be well worth the initial that you put in. So, friends, let's take a quick look at reflections, and then I'll go ahead and sign off on this one. In the last 24 hours, I received 37,115,000 free Saitama tokens as part of the Reflections program. If you're unfamiliar with this, saitamastoken.com, that's the official website. Under the ecosystem tab, there's an explanation of how the burn and the passive income system work with Saitama. I've been tracking mine since November 21st and have received about 4.7 billion free Saitama tokens. At current prices, it's about $85. Friends, I hope you're doing well. Stay positive. I mean, really, really focus on the things that we can control. Put your energies into something good and something positive, and let's win together. Thanks for spending your time with me. Check back with me soon. We'll watch our Saitama stacks grow together.